children, welcome to economics online class. From previous class you understood that development of an economy should go hand in hand with its environment. They are interdependent and need each other. Hence, we ignore the negative impact of development on environment. It will destroy the environment and sustainability of all life forms. Here is the importance of sustainable development. In today's session, we are going to discuss about sustainable development and strategies for sustainable development. So let us start our section with a small introduction. The concept of sustainable development is the result of the growing awareness of the global links between mounting environmental problems, socio-economic issues to do with poverty and inequality, and concern about a healthy future. This concept has been widely discussed and has a variety of meaning. The United Nations Conference on Environment and Development, that is UNCED, which defines sustainable development as the development that meets the needs of the present generation without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. So let us talk about two main concepts in sustainable development. The Brundtland Commission, that is UN appointed a commission which named as the Brundtland Commission in 1983, and it released the report that's known as Our Common Future in 1987. So Brundtland Commission expanded the definition that given by United Nations. So if you read the definition again, you will notice that the term need and the phrase future generation, these are the key concept of sustainable development. So the key concept of sustainable development are: first one, need. The Commission recognizes that the dependency of human on the environment to meet needs and requirement of redistribution of resources. In more specific terms, sustainable development aims at decreasing the absolute poverty with minimum resource depletion and minimum environmental degradation. In this sense, sustainable development is a development that meets the basic needs of all. Then the second one, future generation. The Brundtland Commission also emphasized on protecting the future generation, and it talked about the conservation of resources. We have a moral obligation to hand over the all resources in good order to our future generation. For this purpose, Brundtland Commission suggests some steps that we have to follow. They are conservation of natural assets, preservation of the regeneration capacity of the world's natural ecological system. Then the third one, avoiding the imposition of added cost or risk on future generation. And also, Herman Daly, a leading environmental economist, suggests some steps. They are: first one, limiting the human population to a level within the carrying capacity of the environment. Then the second one, implementation of technological progress should be efficient. Then the third one, the rate of extraction of renewable resources should not exceed the rate of regeneration. Then the fourth one, the rate of depletion of non-renewable resources should not exceed the rate of creation. Then the fifth one, inefficiencies arises from pollution should be corrected. So these are the suggestions put forwarded by Mr. Daly. So I hope you understood what is sustainable development. So okay children, now we can discuss about different strategies for sustainable development. So first one, use of non-conventional source of energy. For our energy or power needs, India highly dependent on thermal and hydropower plants. Both of them have adverse environmental impacts. Thermal power plants emit large quantities of carbon dioxide. Then hydroelectric projects like dams inundate forest and also prevent the natural flow of river, etc. There are various non-conventional sources of energy which can be efficiently used to replace thermal and hydropower. The non-conventional energy resources are: first one, LPG and gobar gas in rural areas. Here the LPG stands for liquid petroleum gas. So households in rural area generally use wood, ductcake, etc. as fuel. It has several adverse effects like deforestation, reduction in green cover, etc. To rectify this situation, subsidized LPG is being provided. It is a clean fuel, so it reduces household pollution and also energy wastage minimized. Then gobar gas plants are being provided through easy loans and subsidies. Cattle dung is used for this purpose. The slurry or waste from these plants is a very good organic fertilizers. Then the second one, CNG in urban area. So what is CNG? CNG is compressed natural gas. The use of compressed natural gas as fuel in transportation will reduce air pollution. Then the next one, wind power. In areas where speed of wind is high, windmill can provide electricity without any adverse impact on the environment. So, the initial cost or implementation cost is very high, but this benefit are higher than that cost. Then the fourth one, solar power through photovoltaic cells. We have a large quantity of solar energy in the form of sunlight. Now, with the help of photovoltaic cells, solar energy can be converted into electricity. You can understand from the picture. Solar energy can be converted into electricity. This technology is extremely useful for remote areas and also totally free from pollution. Here, India is also leading an interaction or international body called International Solar Alliance, ISA. Then the next one, mini hydel plants. In mountain region, we can find small streams or mini hydel plants that use the energy of such streams to move small turbines and provide electricity. This electricity can be used for local purpose and also it is very environmental friendly. Then, second strategy for sustainable development is traditional knowledge and practices. Traditionally, Indian people have been close to the environment. In our history, we find that all activities have been environmental friendly. Changes in traditional system lead to damage in our environment. We ignored our traditional system. For example, in healthcare, we have rich tradition in Ayurveda, Unani, Tibetan and folk system. But within the introduction of Western system of treatment, we ignored our traditional healthcare system. But nowadays, we can see most of the cosmetic items producers are herbal in composition. They are relatively free from side effects also. Then, the next strategy is biocomposting. The use of chemical fertilizer lead to damage on our environment. But the use of biocomposting is the solution for this problem. The farmer in large number, all the country have again started using compost made from organic waste. And also for this purpose, they are using earthworms for the faster composting process. Then the next one, biopest control. Biopest control means use of pesticide based on plant products. For example, neem is being used as pesticide and mixed cropping and growing different crops in alternative years on the same land have also helped the farmers. Then the spread environmental knowledge also helps to reduce or minimize its damage. For example, make aware about the importance of snakes, birds, etc. as a pest control. By all this, we can bring sustainability in environment and also in economy. So, let us conclude today's session. Today, we have discussed about what is sustainable development and it aims at promoting the kinds of development that minimize environmental problems and meet the needs of present generation without compromising the ability of the future generation to meet their own needs. With this topic, we come to the end of this chapter. In this chapter, we have discussed about what is environment, then functions of environment, status of India's environment, and also about sustainable development. So next, click on to YouTube URL for getting more information about sustainable development, and also be at home and study your portion very well. Then attend your test paper without any fear. So children, take care. Bye.